This is the story of how just a few years ago, we started out at Coaching No Code Apps as a basic hourly freelancing gig, and how over time we were able to grow our business to the point of hitting its first $1 million run rate month at the height of worldwide shutdowns and economic uncertainty. And how during that time, even with everything going on, we were still seeing our clients hitting better and better results every single day. Now, if you're new around here, my name is Kristen, and I'm the co-founder of Coaching No Code Apps, where we help business owners and industry experts build custom apps to either start their app-based businesses or grow their existing businesses, all without coding and no technical background necessary. We help entrepreneurs build their app-based businesses. But that wasn't always the case. See, in the beginning, Gabby, my co-founder, was freelancing on an hourly basis. And we teamed up, and I actually had a copywriting background, and that's what I was doing at the time. And I was also freelancing, doing my own thing. But we teamed up, and I decided that I would help bring clients in so that Gabby could turn around and help them build their apps. Now, at this point, our business wasn't even really a business. This was not even an adolescent stage. This was very, very much its infancy. We had no real website, no real defined services, nothing official. See, the only thing we were focused on doing was just identifying what people needed help with and then doing that thing, just identifying the problems they were experiencing with their apps and then solving those problems for them. And that approach really worked. We were there to solve problems, and that's what we did. And we got pretty good at it. And that's actually the first thing that I want you to understand when you're going through this journey or this process. It's that you need to identify problems to solve and make sure you're solving the right problems. That's really what's at the root of building and growing and scaling any business, no matter what business it is, whether it's your app-based business, it doesn't matter. That's what's at the core. Making sure that you're solving problems and making sure that you're solving the right problems. We kept going down this path where we were doing the freelancing thing and we were kind of growing from there, and it was relatively steady, but eventually we maxed out and there was no more time in the schedule. We could not add any more hours to the day. And so we needed to do something else because people still needed our help. They were reaching out and they were asking us to help with their apps, and we couldn't. We had to say no, and we really didn't like having to do that. And so our next step was to start creating courses, and that's what we did. We created our foundational course called Fast Track, and we created a membership. It's a monthly membership, and we created a video series about APIs that covers some more advanced topics. And with this approach, we really wanted to help more people than who we could actually fit into a schedule on any given day, because we could see how much they needed it. And honestly, that's when we really started to experience the type of impact we could make on not just people's apps, but on people's lives too. Because as students went through these courses, they started telling us how much they were helping them. They started telling us things like how they were putting their apps into negotiations worth millions of dollars, and how they were developing skills for themselves that would allow them to transition their jobs, potentially transition their careers. This was really eye-opening for us because up to that point, while we were helping people build their apps, we weren't really seeing what was happening on the other side of that, because it was very, very technically focused. And that's really all it had to do with, just the little technical components. And so when we took this step forward and we expanded the way in which we were helping people, it kind of opened our eyes to the effect that we could really have on people's apps and on their lives. And we still do that today. We still have these courses that we have students go through today. But that's not where it stopped. See, over time, we did something that was really vital to the growth of our business. And that was really just the fact that we listened to what our customers and our students were saying. We opened our ears and we opened our minds, and we became like sponges, and we were incredibly receptive to their feedback, their wants, their needs, what their goals were, and what they were really wanting to get out of being able to build their apps and to build their businesses. And even more importantly, we acted on it. And there is nothing that has been more pivotal than taking feedback and acting on it every single step of the way. That's one of the biggest things that we have focused on. Now, this really brings us to another big change that we took our business through. And with all of that feedback that we were getting, we really learned that there was another type of entrepreneur who we could help and who we were actually really good at helping. You see, the courses that we created were great, and they're still helping people today. But there's a certain type of entrepreneur who needed more help. They wanted more help. They were looking for a more all-encompassing approach to building their app and building their app-based business. They wanted more hands-on help, more accountability, more support. They wanted something that was really catered to them and to their app and to their own business goals. And this is the type of person who was really seriously investing themselves into their app and into their app-based business. They were investing their time, their money, their energy, their focus. They were committed to seriously turning their app into a real business venture that could potentially change their lives. This was the type of person who has industry experience that is related to their apps. They love to tinker with tech stuff, but they don't necessarily have a programming or coding background. It's the type of person who wants so desperately to tell their family or their kids all about their app idea, but no one understands it as much as they do. No one gets as excited about it as they do. It's a type of person who wanted a full A to Z approach for building their app so that they could launch their app-based business and doing it all correctly. And not only that, but doing it with a team behind them who understood them, who understood that passion and that drive, and who they could share things with. And like I said, taking feedback and implementing it has been the most pivotal thing for our business over time. And that's what we did. And so we evolved our services and how we helped these entrepreneurs. We created our Built to Scale program to help this type of entrepreneur, and we catered it specifically to them. And that's honestly another really big thing that I want you to understand. Throughout this process, we weren't building these things or creating these things for ourselves. We didn't create these courses for ourselves. We didn't build this program for ourselves. We did it for our clients. And that's something that every single business owner has to understand, is that you're not creating this for yourself. You're not building your app for yourself. You're building it for your users. And honestly, it's our clients who are the real stars of this story. I know that I'm talking about our business, but it really comes back to those clients. They're the ones who are committing themselves to building their apps and to launching their app-based businesses. It's their openness to being coached, their readiness to invest in themselves and in their app, and their drive for seeing results. We're really here to take that drive and that commitment and to funnel it into a plan and a strategy and a process that works for them and that helps them actually see those results. To be honest, initially when we were just operating as a freelance gig, I had a hard time identifying what my driving factor was. Gabby was building these awesome apps and she was helping clients in that way. And I was spreading the word, but there has to be a bigger driving factor behind it. There has to be a bigger purpose. And a really big turning point for us was when we went beyond just the technical components, when we moved past just helping them troubleshoot things in their apps or build their apps from a technical standpoint, for example. When we moved beyond that to focusing on what was on the other side of those apps, what were they doing with those apps and what did they need to accomplish? And really helping them be able to build businesses, to change their lives, and to experience these real significant results on the other side. That was a really big change for us in our business because that is a really, really big motivator. Seeing that you can have that effect on the people you're helping. As we've worked with clients in Built to Scale, they've told us firsthand how we're changing their lives. We're helping them build the apps that run their businesses more efficiently, for example. And that gives them hours back in their day that they can now spend with their kids. They've told us how we are helping them take what was a previously failed business idea, a previously failed app, and actually create something that is allowing them to create a new business for themselves and see their highest revenue months ever. Months that surpass what used to be full years worth of income that came from those failed business attempts. We're seeing how these people are able to transition out of their previous jobs, out of their previous careers, into the tech space, into having apps and app-based businesses without a technical background. And that is really powerful. And one of the reasons why I want to emphasize this so much is, again, it's not all about us. It's about the clients. And what you have to understand when you're growing your app, you're growing your app-based business, is that there must be a reason behind what you're doing. You have to have that driving factor pushing you forward, because building and scaling a business, it's not easy. And there has to be something that is pushing you to continue doing the work that you're doing. And for us, it's seeing those results on the other side, because there's nothing more impactful than being able to change someone's life. And it might not seem like, your app would be able to do something like that. Maybe your app just solves a really specific problem. But if that problem is a problem for someone, they need a solution, and you don't know how that affects their life. Maybe it's something that frustrates them day in and out, and simply solving this one problem helps relieve endless amounts of stress and frustration for them. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be, that doesn't have to be your driving factor, but there has to be one. You have to have something that gives you a reason to get up and go to work every single day and say to yourself, even if you've had a difficult day, even if you've had something that feels like failure or an obstacle, you have to find something that makes you want to keep going anyways. There has to be a reason behind it. Now for us, it's seeing those life changes. It's knowing that we're helping people gain more control and freedom over their lives. But whatever it is for you, you just have to find the thing that lights that fire for you as well. Now we're kind of getting closer to current times. Now, because of that purpose and that mission that we have to really change people's lives, to enable them to build these apps and build their businesses and see those results on the other side, because we have now built our team and continue to build our team with those exact same values and motivators, when COVID started to really become a problem across the world, and kind of at the height of that, we knew exactly what we needed to do, and we knew exactly what our mission was at that point. It was to help these entrepreneurs continue moving forward when everything else around them was filled with uncertainty, when their day-to-day lives was changed. Our mission was to help them continue to take control over their lives and just keep moving forward. And in reality, that's what we continue to do every single day. You know, when we bring a new client into the program, we're behind the scenes, literally celebrating as a team the fact that we get the opportunity to help them build this app so that they can build that app-based business, and it can enable them to change their lives. It is so fun for us to bring someone into the fold and get a chance to just work with them in that way and help them really see the results that they're after. And that's the last really big thing that I want you to understand. And this might sound really cheesy, but that's okay. We have a massive goal for ourselves. And it's not to make more money than anyone else. It's to help our clients see the results that they're after. It's to help them, again, to build those apps, grow their app-based businesses, and experience the kind of change that that can have on their lives. Our really big goal is honestly just to help make them the heroes of their own story and their own process that they're going through. Now, this is our story of where we started and the really big values that we have held close all along the way that have led us to this point. But I want you to understand that those values can act as the driving forces behind any business, no matter what type of business it is. So, number one, you need to make sure that you're solving a problem. When you're building your app and you're building your app-based business, make sure that you're focused on solving a problem, and make sure that you're solving the right problems. Make sure that you're solving problems that actually need to be solved. And then get feedback. Become a sponge. Be open and receptive to feedback. It can sometimes feel a little bit defeating to hear criticism, no matter how constructive it is, but it's something that you have to want and look for and pull out of people so that you can implement it. And that's even more important. You have to implement that feedback so that you can evolve the way in which you solve those problems. And the next big thing is make it for them. Build it for them. Don't build whatever it is you're building for yourself. This is a trap that's so easy to fall into. You have a lot of really cool ideas, but when you build cool ideas, you're building them for yourself. Solve the problems, get the feedback, and implement the feedback. And if you do those things, then you're building your app and your business for your users, for your customers. And then after that, you have to make sure that you have a driving factor behind what you're doing. Because if you're growing a business, it's not going to be easy. It's not easy to build a customized, fully functioning, scalable app. It's not easy to scale your business around that app. It's very realistic. You can do it with the right strategy and plan and process and support and motivation and drive. But you have to have a bigger purpose. And again, that can sound a little bit cheesy, and that's okay, because the reality is your mindset has so much to do with the success that you see on the other side of all of this. And if you don't have that big thing driving you forward with your app and your business, then you're going to struggle to get there because you will have difficult days. It's not easy. It's doable. It's definitely doable, but it's not easy. And so there has to be something behind you pushing you through those difficult days, because even though they're difficult, you still want to get to the other side, and you still have a reason to see those results, to reach those goals. And lastly, and this really does tie into that, but you need to have an overarching goal for your business or a mission. So not just the thing that's driving you personally, but what's driving your business. Our goal with our business is to enable people to have more control over their lives through their apps, through their app-based businesses. We have this overarching goal, and it's kind of like a North Star. It's what drives the decisions we make and the actions that we take. If you don't have this overarching goal, then anything that comes along is going to distract you. You can think of it as shiny object syndrome. And the more that happens, and trust me, it will happen, the more that happens, the more thin your bandwidth will be spread, and your focus is just going to be pulled in so many different directions. So you have to have that North Star guiding you forward. So when those things come along, you can ask yourself, is this going to help me achieve my mission? Is this going to help the business achieve its mission? And if yes, then go all in. And if no, then move on, because you need to have a drive to accomplish that bigger overarching business goal. And again, for us, it's seeing the results for our clients on the other side. And we do that in a really specific way. Everything is designed to do that. So figure out what it is for you and what it will be for your business, and you will have a much easier chance of seeing success in the long run, because this is a long game. It's not an overnight thing. And so you have to have that driving factor. All right. I hope that was helpful for you. And listen, if you want to join in on this mission yourself, if you want to take the next steps forward with your own app and your own app-based business and start taking control over really your own life and your own skills. It doesn't matter what your background is. You don't need a technical background. This is without coding, right? We're building apps, app-based businesses, no coding at all. So if you want to join us in that, we would be thrilled to help you take the next step. So we have a free training set up, and it's going to guide you through some strategy that we use to get apps up and running quickly in the correct way and in a strategic way. So if you haven't started with your app yet, go ahead and join us on that training. And if you have started with your app, join us anyways, because it'll help you make sure that you're moving forward in the right direction. And that's what we want for you. So you can head to coachingnocodeapps.com/workshop to join us in that. And we'll be looking forward to working with you there.